Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Okay.
Is everybody else all done their stuff?
What do you mean?
Because didn't it start yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is the last hour. So it goes until 6 and then it's done. Dad, a happy birthday.
Yeah, what a nice song. Yep. Seems to be working. Can somebody test the audio that has a phone?
What?
Somebody want to try the phone?
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Brandy, can you check on your phone to see
We're
if
at
it's
the Midoki
Thank you.
setting up for our last hour of 4 hours of reality. Because this is the only place that we can get. So.
Just think.
I was hoping there would be some Fisher people here from your YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No touching.
We're gonna have to do it like last year where somebody speaks up here. So you can see this from the otherwise you won't see the slides. I was watching the other one. It was wrong. I don't remember. What am I doing?
Yeah. Oh, I can hear it on your phone.
Okay, so 3 to 4 okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get ready.
Goodness sakes! Goodness sakes! What's the matter? Yeah.
What? He says, what? Okay.
Everybody's got their winter boots on. And remember, I'm not ready. Spring coat still. Although it was cold in Toronto on the weekend, because we went to that 60s scoop thing. Yeah, and it was, well, it's being stalled. You know, the government, you know, it's money, they want to give it stuff towards it. I got it. And
Good job, you.
well, the chili must be hot. See, chili, yeah. Go ahead and help yourself. You're starting.
Oh,
Should be hot. And you want to use the bread and
see you trying to escape.
the outside's hot, but it's.
Come on. Where are you going? You said see you guys later? Come here. Hey, it's okay. He's trying to go to chili. was exciting.
That was fun.
Just one of those days. One of those days.
People let food eat. Yeah, I'm not cheese. Yeah. Don't be shy now. I don't know.
That is one of the weirdest. I have never seen that happen before.
What? Oh.
It's not. You see the edges here?
Mm-hmm.
Are, so they're not matching. The projector isn't matching the computer. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Oh yeah, that's more like a 5-second delay.
Okay, let's try again.
It is kind of big.
I've never,
Give me.
I've presented a lot. I have never seen it do that. That makes no sense.
Okay, we got our left.
What's the keystone thing? Is that?
You know, but it's not the keystone's for this. Like for the outside box, it's not for the inside box. I've never seen it.
Angle?
No, like the actual projector is here, right? You see how it's faintly here and faintly here. So the computer screen is showing up here on an angle, which is virtually impossible. So, and I don't know how to fix that. I keep resetting stuff and it's. Any ideas?
You guys know how to do all this stuff.
Like, I've presented like thousands of times. I've never seen this before. Yeah, I know. It's always just the perfect time to do it.
It's not like one of. Oh, there you
Oh.
go. It's straight. I think it's.
Oh, Natasha.
Oh, did Cregan like swipe it super over?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that
thank
might
you.
be.
That was lovely.
Okay.
I was like, whoa.
Nothing wrong with the machine.
I love simple solutions. It's just me being kind of stupid. It's all good. It's all
I
good.
think that one's left and right, and I think these ones are up and down.
Okay.
Natasha, you have to have some soup.
Just, it's not.
So I think it's maybe one of those.
Get out of your mouth.
Oh, I guess not.
See, it's like I don't know. This is weird. It's just reset. Okay. I guess that's close enough.
Yeah, that's
It's not too distorted.
Because that's, it's not the leaves, is it?
Okay.
Said that on live TV too, right? It
Yeah.
looks like someone's at the door. Looks like Ryan.
Is that Ryan?
Yep.
Hey, it's just in time.
Hello. Hello. Come on in.
Hey, you're just in time.
Good, good.
Hello.
it works out really well because we've been having tech problems. So we finally got it all figured out and we're almost ready to start. So that's perfect. Just if anybody's interested, there's a map that shows all over the world where people are presenting today.
Right now?
Within this 24-hour period from 6 p.m. last night till 6 p.m. today. And so we're one of those, but you see like they're all over the place. And there's somebody actually in Antarctica that was presenting.
So I met somebody from Africa and somebody from India, somebody from Greece.
You met somebody from Indonesia too.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yesterday they had a launch video where the people that were going to be presenting could go on, and they did an introduction with Al Gore and Ken Berlin and people from the organization, like introducing the event and kind of just saying, hey, so glad everybody's helping out kind of thing. Like it was an internal video. And one of my mentees in the organization is now the head of the Indonesian branch. And so she was on there. And I was like, you can't say hi, but I was like, hey, Amanda. It was very fun. Anyway, so I just thought I'd show you this before we started. But so if we,
Zoom in?
yep.
Who's up there in Canada?
So Ontario is doing a lot of the ones that are in Canada. There's quite a few like around Vancouver and over this way. It's just one like happening in Winnipeg. But I think there's over 70 presentations happening in Ontario today. So you see us up here? So we're on the map, we're on the global map. There are over 1,700 presentations happening all over the world today. I read it. So we get to be part of this neat global group of people that are all talking about it. And there's a sign-up sheet over, I don't know where it went. Oh, Brandy got it. That if people just put your name down, you can also sign up otherwise. But everybody that attends a presentation around the world gets a tree planted for them. So they're actually, so I'm not sure, they are doing a tree planting in Ontario as part of this organization and for this event, but I'm not sure where it is. I don't know if they've figured it exactly out, the location yet, but it's kind of cool, like everybody that goes is going to have one tree planted for them attending. So it's nice because we're taking there's another action that's being added to our action of just talking about it. It's one of the best ones with helping with carbon emissions. Who wants to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. I will. That will do. Just realized I didn't bring my. I'm not going to do all these slides, guys. So don't be worried about it.
There's a chicken in there.
Yeah, no, I won't be doing them all.
We are.
Bonus.
Not everybody's vegetarian.
That's what I figured.
But I think vegetarians need to, well, especially at the thing we went to, they needed to make their food tastier. I think they could have, it was pretty dry. To wash it down.
Is somebody, one of us, Brandy and Natasha, able to post up that we're going to start? Just on social media so that people know that we're actually going to get going. Thank you. And I'm going to have to stand on this side in order to be able to advance slides. And I'm not going to know whether I'm in this thing or not. Do you know if Brandy, do you have the stream?
I did.
Yeah. Just before I start, we might as well test to make sure that I can be seen first. It's always a good thing to know that. You can probably tell I've presented too much in my life where I'm really, really relaxed.
It's more towards over here.
Yeah, the problem is I'm going to have to advance the slides down there because I forgot that.
So where are we gonna have to stand?
Well, if you won't have to stand here because you don't have slides to move. So, but Natasha, either like I can make your slides go for you if you want, and then you can still stand over there. But I'll just make my own slides move.
It's getting like, just like, it's kind of off.
Okay. I mean, do I need to stand here, or do I need to move this more this way?
You need to come over here, but like the problem is you're coming off the screen.
Yeah. Well, I'm not as worried about people seeing this.
Like you're in the corner though.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to be.
But it kind of is blocking.
Come physically do something. If you...
You want to move the camera back so that you have a wider angle?
Well, the problem is that it only goes this far. It has to be close to the computer.
Yeah.
I can do it like there. Is that better?
It's still like 5 to
Yeah.
7 seconds.
Yeah, that's huge.
I know. But if you need to turn it off here a bit more because there's so much space.
Just move it. Yeah, just move it.
Sorry, that's the legs. This man wants to be in it.
Is that good?
It's 5:15.
Yeah, I know.
Saying, we only got till 6 o'clock.
Let's just start anyway.
Yeah, that's good enough.
I'm good with
I
that.
think it's good enough.
So welcome everyone. I'm Victoria Serta and I'm a board member of the Climate Reality Project Canada, so Al Gore's organization in Canada. I'm also a local climate leader. I'm a mentor in the organization and recently went to one of the trainings in Minneapolis along with Charlene Winger-Jones and Brandy Farr, who were able to attend with me. And so we're having a little 24 hours of reality event here in Neyaashiinigmiing in order to talk with more of a focus around how climate change is affecting the water and the fish. In different parts of the world, they're doing different themes, and that one is the most appropriate for around here because it's the biggest changes that we're seeing. I'm only going to talk a little bit with a formal presentation because I don't think it's necessary to go through a lot of the details of the science with the crowd of people that we have here. But I want to talk a little bit about the connection that we have to the earth and how important it is to act on that connection that we have. So one of the first things that Mr. Gore often talks about in his presentations is when we first started being able to see pictures of the world, how much that affected us as human beings on the planet because it allowed us a different perspective. We could look and we'd be able to see that the earth is something that relative to the rest of the universe is very small. And it makes it feel more fragile when you can see it from a distance. And this was the first photo that was called Earthrise that was taken from space. And then this one is the first one that was taken of the whole planet at one time. And until a couple of years ago, it was the only one that they had where you could see the whole planet Earth at once in one photo. And it's the most seen photo that there is in the world. More people have seen this than any other picture. And it makes sense because we definitely feel a connection to this photo that we can, understand more about how our world works. You can see that there are climate patterns, like that there's weather happening, there's different storms in different places. You can see there are different wind patterns. You also see how much of the world is covered by water, which is something a lot of people don't think too much about, and how important water is to us as part of this whole equation to do with how the climate is affecting us and everything in the world. So we have a few kind of basic things that we need to really think about, today and every day is whether we have to change, like must we change? I think that all of us here understand pretty well that everybody has to change in the planet because we're in quite a situation with the climate crisis and where things are going. Can we change? Yes, is my answer to that one. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been working on this on climate change and global warming stuff since the 80s. I think that it's really important. It's the challenge of our times, but it is something that we can work on and be able to have a big impact about. Will we change is really the last question. And that one's a little harder to know because that one is a collective promise and a collective will that we all need to have together to do something about this. One of the reasons I'm part of the Climate Reality Organization is because there are over 17,000 people around the world that are all talking about climate change in their communities. And we share with each other and we boost each other up and inspire each other and have conversations. We can talk about how things are affecting different parts of the world. And it's inspiring to know that there are other people all over the place that are doing this. And I would imagine like Charlene and Brandy can attest to that, that it's really nice to be able to talk to people that are doing stuff in their own communities that live in a whole different part of the planet. It's really, really inspiring. So I'm just going to switch down in my slides. And I'm going to give just a little if I'm going to be allowed to do it. Yes. Just a little inspiration before we go on to the other parts of the presentations that we're having here. Over 190 global companies around the world have committed to going 100% renewable. Like sometimes one of the biggest things that we often talk about, like I talk about in the community or in other places, is people wonder whether there's enough commitment from corporations and governments around the world. And we have commitments from the government. We have commitments from global companies to shift this. There's been a lot happening in the world around how people do investments, that they're stopping, like some big banks in some countries are stopping their investments in fossil fuels and that kind of infrastructure. And there's a lot of hope in that. China and India have already are on target to meet their Paris Accord agreements. So some of the biggest growing countries that have the biggest population are actually doing really well on acting on climate change. And so there are things like that that can be really inspiring for us all to be able to really act on this important issue and really be able to do something about it. So part of my personal action around these things is I'm part of the Bagida'waad Alliance, which is a local group that the fishing families here started, almost 2 years ago now, Natasha. And Natasha Akawinsi is going to be speaking shortly about in particular how the whitefish are being affected, but just talking about climate change here. And we also have Charlene Winger-Jones here to speak, and we'll see if Brady Farm wants to pipe in on occasion, or maybe at the end in order to wrap things up.
Hi.
I'm just voluntolding her as I normally do. You don't have to. But just keep in mind that there's a lot of really good things going on around the world. These are the logos of all the companies that are committing to going renewable with their energy sources.
What does that mean, 100% renewable?
It means that they're going to use non-fossil fuel based energy, electrical input and heating input for their corporations.
Not like transportation and stuff, right?
They're committing to doing that, yeah, with transportation as well.
What about the materials they use and so on?
Yeah, the materials, is something that people can't go fossil fuel less for, because we've integrated things like plastic so much into how things are made that it's not part of these kinds of things. It's more, it has to do with heating, electricity, and transportation normally when these commitments are made. There are companies though that are doing a lot more around trying to use more local materials, more reusable materials. But that's one of the big challenges of our time, is to be able to kind of kick the fossil fuel habit with how we're using it to make everything from our plastic bags from the grocery store to, our iPhones or our technology. We have to wean ourselves eventually. And then this is just a quick graph that shows that how many people and corporations are planning on just purchasing clean energy as part of what they're doing. So it just means that people are starting to understand that it's important to shift, and we need to see that kind of thing happening around the world. So part of what we're doing with this is asking people to, gather together and start using their voices in order to be able to do more good with our voices together. And so there's a website that is 24hoursofreality.org. So you can go there and kind of see what's happening in different parts of the world. On social media today, they're using the Truth into Action hashtag, so you can look and see different places in what they're doing. I have friends in Pakistan and Indonesia that were presenting today, and they were live streaming their presentations online. So there are people like that you can talk to and be able to find out who's doing what in different parts of the world. And a lot of these presentations, like we're doing here, are being live streamed in other places. And so it just means they'll be recorded and posted so that people will be able to see them later and hear about the good stories of what action people are taking around the world.
You look frozen on mine.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I always wanted to look frozen.
that is frozen. It's
Like totally frozen?
yeah, the last. Well, you can hear it with audio, but you're kind of frozen with the beginning slide.
Oh, very nice.
Doing this.
Oh, that's exciting.
So you
Is
look
the
very
video-
healthy,
Is
but-
the video back yet?
It's just one of the things with rural internet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh wait.
Is it back?
Maybe. It's very slow. Very slow.
Okay, well that's fine. It might be your ability to see it too. It probably is uploading faster than it is downloading.
Passion, you do it on yours? I think it's just my Try
Yeah.
one more.
Brandy, I'm guessing that it's just that the download on the Wi-Fi isn't very good at the moment.
Yeah.
So let's just hope we'll just power through it and hope that it works.
Just wanted to let you know.
Yes, no, I appreciate it. Thank you, Brandy. So who is next?
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
It was like school.
Do you want me just to sit here? Or?
Do you mind coming over here?
Okay, I can.
And then because I'm gonna. Is that working? Yes. Oh, no.
Talk to you guys. Compared to 1200, you guys are pretty easy.
I'm just gonna turn it off for a minute, and then I'll turn it back on again after. And that came back on.
Oh, okay, I can go.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, all right.
I've moved it for you so that.
Angel, łamie ci zakłady, że kaz, Neyaashiinigmiing, and now. I'm a water walker. I've been walking probably 5-6 years, and my concern is about the water. And I had the privilege when I went to Minneapolis, St. Paul, to talk to all the people, about how important the water is, because to me the water is life. But as I move around and I walk through the reserve, everything's alive. Everything brings everybody back to the life itself on the planet that everybody is trying to save and do what they can to preserve everything. And our water is just, when I was talking, the water has come up a couple more feet. And the water is so strong that it's changing. It's able to carry big rocks like this and move them. And it's like, I'm amazed how strong the water is, because it's changing the whole shoreline just from that water raising the way it is. And the waves are stronger, way stronger, because I don't remember in my lifetime the rocks that have moved like they have. And they're big rocks, and they're moving like yards at a time when that water is rushing in. So, people should be aware. Like, I would recommend that everybody step outside, take a walk outside, because you'll notice different things. When I go outside, I smell the air. And sometimes I wake up and I go outside and I'm thinking, okay, what's that smell? I don't recognize that smell. It's something coming from something that shouldn't be here, because it's not a good smell. So I'm just hoping that everybody is going to do whatever job that they can do as individuals. I think when we as individuals think about what we can do for the earth, we're going to be able to save it, protect it, and that's going to be our job. Not just Anishinaabe job, it's everybody's job in this whole world, the universe, even the Humby Witch.
I couldn't tell you if I wanted to.
Okay.
I think it's good because it's very like over here, like the end of it, you're kind of.
Okay.
Ani, my name is Tasha Gwenzi. I'm the manager of Bagida'waad Alliance. And this is our presentation, Winds of Change. So this is my husband and I, when many, many moons ago, when we actually used to sell fish. We owned and operated a provincially inspected fish plant. We sold fish for 15 years in Toronto. Last year, August 25th, we closed up shop. My husband was one of the last fishermen to actually lift and set his nets by hand. And I think a lot of people would know this guy. But anyway, this is my husband filleting a fish. I don't think too many people could outdo him.
Tommy can't.
We have a lot of fun doing this. Like just having fun against other fishermen or other processors or even chefs. Because my husband still has 10 fingers. And that's one of those lake trout that I will talk about later in the PowerPoint. We should be doing a lot more of those fish.
Yes.
32 bones in each fillet, just as an FYI. And he's done. Roughly 30 seconds aside. So about a minute. I usually pin bone about a minute aside, so in 3 minutes we can have the fish done from start to finish. So what did we see as a group also, and also like the fishermen? We saw a lack of whitefish. Fishermen are spending a lot more time on shore because of windy days and dangerous conditions. We're also seeing that there's a shortage of youth taking interest in the fishing. Examples, fishers, chefs, routers, people in trades, people seeing nets. Nobody wants to see nets anymore. Okay, question one. How many jobs are linked to the Great Lakes?
Lots.
Oh, come
It's not a number.
on. 5.
A million.
Oh. Close. Okay, so what do we do? This is what we've done since we started. In the first year, we applied for 20 plus small grants, raised over $70,000 with the grants, and attended or hosted 54 events or activities to date. This would be number 55. This is who we are. Kind of a cute bunch. We're an Indigenous-led not-for-profit corporation, started in March 2018, led by 3 Neyaashiinigmiing fishers, Andrew Ekwenzi, Guy Nadjuan, and Francis is not in the picture. What are the changes of the fish that the fishers are seeing? The whitefish numbers are declining, lake trout numbers are increasing, less bycatch is being caught, and pickerel numbers are increasing. And I know some people hear that and say yes to that. So, net seaming workshop. This is what we do for fun. We teach people how to seam nets. We need to teach the people in this room.
When did you do that?
Mythbuster. And this is a typical fisher.
We wish. We wish.
And this is a boat. This looks like the weather. This is the truth. This is a real fisherman. And this is a real boat. Well, kind of decorated. Last myth. This is how some people think we fish. And this is actually how we fish. Another question. What percentage of the Earth's fresh surface water is contained in the Great Lakes?
1. 5.
Yeah, still going up. There you go. Okay, another quick video. This is how you do it by hand.
Well, and then he does it all by himself, right?
He does. We did. You might recognize where this is.
Can you imagine that?
I don't have to imagine. He makes it look easy.
When I was a kid, we didn't even have that kind of equipment on there. And we just had a rowboat
I think we're good.
and the fisher person that I was with just put everything by hand in the water and pulled out everything by hand. Just that's the difference from even what Andy's doing.
So this is how the weather patterns are changing for the fishers. These banners are becoming kind of permanent. We try to wash our computer screens once in a while to see if we can actually get those banners to come down, but it doesn't work. So the winds are increasing, the storms are moving in faster, there's warmer waters and the lack of ice on the surface. Now we get into the graphs. So, wind speeds are increasing up and over the water. Any fisherman can tell you that, or anybody that lives by the water.
Oops, sorry.
It's okay.
Did you want that one?
And the high wind events are up 100%, and the hourly winds are up quite a bit too. This is my fun one. This would be like the size of my husband's boat, which is a 24-foot, 7-foot wide punt, open steel boat. So this graph shows this gray area is days and times that he could not go fishing in November last year, which pretty much means he spent most of November on shore. and a happy fisherman on shore, that is not true. A fisherman needs to be on the water. Lake Huron water temperatures, again, very quickly increasing. And I really don't want to read on to that. And there's 3 reasons that the air temperature is all year is not on is all year. Water temperature holds heat better than the air, and the water freezes at 0. Most water under the surface is 4 degrees in winter. And if no ice mixes with warmer water underneath. And this very quickly shows that the ice coverage is going down on Lake Huron. And the maximum of last year was 90%. It did not freeze over completely, and it took a long time to get there. Question? Oh, come on. There's 2 here that cannot answer that question. Go ahead.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Say true. I'm
Okay.
gonna say false to be that person.
Yay.
So these are the ice charts for the last couple of years. Slight difference. If you notice, Lake Erie is very colorful, and then not so colorful last year. Invasive species. We're not even going to get really into this because I could spend an entire PowerPoint presentation just on these guys. But I can tell you that they're pain. So that's a lamprey, our whitefish, phragmites, smelts, gobies, zebra and cragula mussels.
It
That
disappeared.
disappeared pretty fast. I wish they would disappear. Question: how long could it take? How long could a lake whitefish live? And we looked this up the other day.
So that means you're not allowed.
So you're not allowed to answer.
Yell out the answers. Come on.
Either 5 or 15.
30.
100 years.
The 15 was good.
I would argue they can live longer than that, but
I would argue that
Oh,
too.
from the expert.
There's
I'm
another.
thinking more like 25.
If it's a happy fish, it has to be the happy fish.
A happy fish, not a dead fish.
Yeah.
Disappointed fish. The disappointed fish is
So, algae. It's in new locations. It's very deep. Once upon a time, we used to tell people how deep it was and nobody would believe us. The light is going deeper because of zebra and cragula mussels, and it's caused from agriculture and residential runoff. It damages gear and allows the fish to see the nets. This is a mess, and this is like 6 times heavier than what a fish net should be.
How long would it take to clean that real swamp with that algae?
When we used to clean this, we used to use a power washer and slide it up a slide, hitting the power washer, and it used to take 2 hours in that.
Like a 50-yard section of that?
Roughly about that.
Oh,
And then you'd be standing in ankle deep of algae, which was lovely.
it's a lot of work, plus like cleaning the fish and doing all that other stuff.
Lots of fun. You want to be a fisherman? So this is what a lake whitefish is. It's silvery scales. When you scale them, they land in your hair, so they can go to the bank and go to town and have people picking stuff out of your hair. Length. Okay, there's 2 things here that I want to dispute, but I got this off the internet, so it's supposed to be accurate. Anyway, the length and the weight I want to dispute because I've seen bigger fish. I am sure I have seen bigger fish. I'm positive I've seen bigger fish. They need shoals to spawn on in the fall. There's 32 pin bones per fillet. Eggs can be made into caviar. And I've also heard they've been boiled and fried. Whitefish can be smoked, boiled, baked, deep fried, poached, barbecued, and pan fried. And I'm sure another half a dozen ways. Information, that's where I got that information from, about the weight and the length. Again, I want to dispute it. They said the biggest one ever found in Ontario was 14 pounds. Again, I like to dispute that one. See? I am sure that's bigger than 14
That's
pounds.
not 2 pounds.
And Andy is a very small person, obviously. It's photoshopped.
So this is me having fun. I got the weirdest things given to me, like leopard slugs. Those were fun. I got to pull this burbot of this giant lake trout, wherever he went to, down here. That was a lot of fun that day. We also get to have fun with what's the fish eating. We get to play that guessing game. And she's very impressed.
A burbot that was eaten. It was partially eaten. Yeah. It was beautiful.
That's what I thought so.
She was so happy. I have never seen her that happy.
I'm excited about fish bets. So why do we keep fishing? It's a way of life. Very simply. This is what we're working on now and we continue to work on. We're gathering stories from fishermen, elders in Neyaashiinigmiing, to do a video and a book. The video has been put onto Facebook and we've got the book to layout. It's been funded from the Indigenous Culture Fund and the Community Foundation's Ray Bruce helped us also with it. We also showed it at the Source of Knowledge this past spring. That was fun. So this is what I'm doing now. I got to go down by flashlight tonight to do it. But anyway, we're doing it tobacco tide to bring attention to the whitefish declining in Georgian Bay. We're just hoping to start a conversation with any or all levels of government to see what we can do to help the whitefish numbers. One possibility, it's just a possibility, stocking of the whitefish led by First Nations. And we're not saying just this First Nations, but any First Nations around Georgian Bay. And just to start talking about options might be a better idea out there. But the challenges of the whitefish are really quite high. So we might have to take care of these issues before we even come up with a solution. Water temperatures getting too warm, cold water fish, lack of ice coverage. There's a lot of invasive species, as you saw. Large numbers of predator fish, that trout. And diarrhea, the food source for the whitefish, are disappearing. And this is what you can do to help us. Follow, like and follow us, what we're doing. Attend our events. There's a couple of really simple and quick things you can do. Send us pictures of the water, weather, Mother Earth, and other living creatures. And just talk to your networks to help promote the work we're doing. That was fun too. Thank you.
Can we watch that whitefish video?
Yep, that's the next up. And then if anybody else wants to talk after that, they're quite happy. We're
You can introduce it.
yeah. Brady or Karina could introduce it too.
What am I doing? Introducing the video?
Yeah,
Is that clear?
just while I get it out. I'm setting it up, so if you can just explain the project and
So up next, we have our video for the 24 Hours of Reality. So we went around and got some little clips of people just saying what they wanted to say about the lake and saving the whitefish. So we put it all together in a little compilation video for you guys to view for the very first time, official first showing. So enjoy.
Oh, no volume. Just a sec.
It's probably the outputs through something else. Let's see.
Thank
You mind? Sorry.
Nope, I don't mind.
It's just the live stream of nothing.
Man, I never see your stuff. There we go. But internal speakers.
There we go. Oh,
Just a second. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Sorry, guys. Small technical difficulties. It's fine. We got some audio.
Save our whitefish.
Oh, here we go. No spoilers. No spoilers.
Save our whitefish, presented by the Bagida'waad Alliance.
Hi, I'm Brandon Clark from Soggy First Station number 29 here in Ontario, Canada, if you couldn't tell. I was forced.
Hey, good morning. My name is Christine Kijik, and I'm a member of the Chippewas of Neyaashiinigmiing.
My name is Bagida'waad. We're standing here in Neyaashiinigmiing.
Neyaashiinigmiing, Blackstone First Nation.
My name is Bagida'waad. I'm from Neyaashiinigmiing.
Walter Chigano. Elizabeth Neyaashiinigmiing.
My name is Alex Duncan. I'm from the British Peninsula.
I'm Paul Douglas Adame from Chippewas of Neyaashiinigmiing First Nation.
Jordan McGinn, Soggy Shores Winter Hot Sock Club.
My name is Francis LaValle from Neyaashiinigmiing.
My name is Deidre Miller, and I'm from the Chippewas of Neyawash.
Hi, I'm Victoria Serta. I live in the traditional territory of the South Bank of Bagida'waad.
I'm Doug Miller. I live in Hammond, Ontario with a lovely view over Georgian Bay.
My name's Ezra Rosenbaum.
My name is Carter Rosenbaum.
We're from Owen Sound.
We're talking about saving the whitefish.
Fishing sure isn't what it used to be.
About the whitefish, so when I grew up, my dad was part of 27 or more men sailing in Maria Harbor where we lived. And we just sailing for whitefish.
And I've experienced in my 45 years plus that the fishing industry is getting more and more difficult to get your target fish, the whitefish.
It needs to be addressed.
How it used to be years ago, when I remember the lakes used to be covered over in the winter time, which made it plentiful for us to either go skating or to do ice fishing, and those things just don't happen anymore.
Because you've been diminished by the sports, fish being introduced to hybrids. They can't compete. The hybrid is on such a predator level that it's wiping out the population of the whitefish.
So I believe that maybe with the water being open on the year, that may affect the fishing cycle. And so I guess it's all due to climate change.
I don't see that anymore. Like all the whitefish don't come in anymore.
I've learned about what's happens below the water, and we've got to save the whitefish.
We need to save our whitefish. They are in serious decline, and we need to do something to stop that.
Save the whitefish. Save our whitefish.
Save the whitefish.
So if there's anything that can be done to help us be more aware of climate change and how that we may protect or save the whitefish, that would be a good thing.
Save our whitefish.
Save the whitefish.
Please save our whitefish because water is life.
And to save the whitefish. Be great.
Thank you.
Save our whitefish.
Thank you, bye.
Neyaashiinigmiing. Thank you to all the fishers, youth, elders, community members, and supporters who participated in our video. For more information, please visit the Bagida'waad Facebook page by searching for Bagida'waad Alliance.
Nice.
Yep. So does anyone else want to say a few words before we move on to the next round of the potluck dinner that we've got happening in the other room? I guess I should go over it.
I can say something if you want.
Okay, please do. Woohoo!
Where do you want me?
Okay, anywhere. Do you want me to turn this off?
Sure. I don't really need to be backlit.
Yeah.
Doesn't help me any. So I'm Karina Serta. I have Cregan, that's a cave band member, as my son. I just wanted to say, I've been involved in the Climate Reality Project since 2008. And since then, that organization has grown so much, and it's come to a point where they're doing such great things across the world, like 24 Hours of Reality, where it's happening simultaneously across the globe. And I'm really happy to see that places like Neyaashiinigmiing are willing to participate in 24 Hours of Reality, that this community is willing to open and join with them for an event like this, that's to help our environment and to try to help stop climate change. Because, like I said, when I first got involved with the organization, it was international, but it was much smaller and on a much smaller scale. And when my mom got involved, there was only 20 people across Canada that were trained. So then it's just grown so much since then, and the willingness of this community to be open to participating and for SON as a whole to be participating in it. I'm just really happy to see that. So thank you, Rich.
Anybody else want to say anything? So Brandy Farr, a youth from Saugeen First Nation, is going to say a few words. She's also on the board of the Bagida'waad Alliance.
Yes. Okay. Half of you know me, half of you don't. Yeah, I'm Brandy. I'm from Saugeen. I'm originally from Toronto, but I moved up here, not here, but Saugeen when I was 16. Ever since then, when I met Victoria, we've been doing volunteer work together. She's actually my previous co-op mentor. So we've known each other for about 6 years now. I'm 22. I don't look it, but I'm 22. Anyway, feeling it day by day. Anyway, I just want to say thanks for coming out. It means a lot, and especially from just the community point of view, I feel like doing this work really helps kind of get the community together again and, work towards positive goals. I'm sure working with Saugeen and Cape, the positives and the negatives, and we hope Bagida'waad and, Victoria's craziness and my craziness together can help spread awareness of the decline of whitefish and getting more people to come out and interact and spread the message. Thanks again. Thanks for watching the video. That was
Anybody else want to say anything?
Natasha. I know. Just want to throw you under the bus.
Any of your kids want to say something? You can.
Perfect timing.
Yes, because it's your, it's your world too.
I'm hearing quiet, so.
Yeah, well, at least yes.
Yeah, definitely. And we're like, thank you again for coming, Miigwech. Even small groups of people like us getting together talking about these things is really important. And like when you think of there's 1,700 events all in different places where they're just little groups of people getting together and talking, that's really, really important about making moves forward, and that we have the commitment just to keep trying to do that is just so important. I mean, it does mean a lot that you're here, that we're all together. So it's a good time right before the broadcast actually ends in like 2 minutes. We're just on time, and we can all enjoy the potluck. And then after that, I think we have some games and puzzles that we can do together for a bit before we go home. So again, Kuchi Miigwech, and thank you all for online for watching us as well. We are grateful for anybody that wants to be included in this. Thanks. Maybe you can help me, Sean. Yeah, here we go.